and I thought I had a cool car to explore Cape Town in yesterday. Hello one and all, welcome to Seeing Through Glass, and welcome to a brand new Aston Martin DB11 V8. This is not the full-blooded V12, but I think I like the prospect of it a little bit more. I have driven the V12 DB11, obviously iconic V12 Aston Martin. However, since that point, Aston have released a V8 variant, which I have never driven before, and incredibly, thanks to the guys down at Aston Martin Cape Town and Aston Martin South Africa, they've put me in a car which has done 92 kilometers in total, ever, 92 kilometers. And I've got it for the entire day. So, there's not much more to do apart from start it up, see what this V8 sounds like, and get moving. Ooh. I will be doing a full review of the DB11, which will probably go live tomorrow, hopefully. Well, let's see how I get on with my editing and my filming. For now, I've parked it up very badly outside somewhere called Crossley Webb, because you may have seen, if you saw my first video from Cape Town yesterday, that it was all kind of very lifestyle-y, a lot of eating and a lot of drinking and a lot of sightseeing. Today, I'm all about the cars, so yes, parked up DB11, let's head inside and check out Crossley Webb. This place is literally my dream. It has a coffee shop inside it. A genuine, legit coffee shop in a car. I mean, they're more than a car showroom. They do storage here, they do restorations here, sales. I mean, they do everything. But it's just heaven, because the range and quality of cars is incredible, as you have probably seen. They've got everything from a 650S Spider through to Super America, 550 Barchetta, and a million other things. I'm going to attempt now to walk around and point out my favourite cars in here. However, essentially everything in here is my favourite, so this could take some time. Let's try and do it quick. You are going to have to forgive me if I miss anything, because there is just so much to look at. But yes, as I mentioned, kicking things off, Super America, 550 Barchetta, and then CLK Black Series. I love these things, look so mean and so aggressive. Just so that you know, South Africa, right-hand drive cars. They can't actually bring left-hand drive cars into the country, so you'll notice almost everything is right-hand drive, apart from a couple of American cars and a few other bits. But yes, we've got tons of things to look at. This I'm obsessed with, Plymouth Roadrunner. I don't know why I love this thing so much. It's a manual and it just looks so mean and aggressive. Love the little Roadrunner symbol. You don't see these too often outside of America, and I just think it's an absolute animal. BF Goodrich, tyre writing, so cool. RS2, Audi RS2, very cool, followed by an RS4 with a roof rack, because everyone needs a roof rack. Got a very nice new 991 Targa here. 348, we've got a Mustang, Mach 1 fastback Mustang. These Maseratis, now there are two of these Maseratis. I'm going to have to remind myself of the name. It is a Kailami, because you just don't see these very often, so that's why I had to remind myself of the name. And you have to look at the dashboard. It's like sheep's wool. Can I get that? Look at that. It's so fluffy. It's amazing. Back here, got some more things. We've got old American pickup trucks. There's a few more Ferraris back there. A couple more Porsches, the GT4 right at the back. Lots and lots and lots of stuff. One thing I'm learning very quickly is that Cape Town or South Africa are obsessed with Cobras and Cobra replications. This is a backdraft. They're like a full production company making AC Cobra-esque cars. This is one of the top specs that they do. This I'm obsessed with. Continental T Bentley. You do not see these at all. Look at the flare of those wheel arches. It is such an absolute beast. I think this is Lenny the Geezer's ultimate car, if I'm honest. We somehow need to cruise around in this with cigars and just robbing banks. I absolutely love it. Collection or cars continue. Mini Moke, very cool. That could be the ultimate Monaco car over a Twizy. More Porsches, another American car. Got a Corvette, got a Ferrari 400i tucked up there at the back. There's always stuff going on. Now this is absolutely insane. This is a 993 RS Club Sport. Do you remember I went out in one of these not so long ago in my first video talking about buying a classics? This has been completely restored and created by the guys down here, Crossley Webb, finished in this stunning blue. Got the roll cage, race seats, super hardcore, super cool. Some incredible alphas over here. I absolutely love this thing. The yellow on it firstly is fantastic. This looks amazing. Got Maserati Merak up there being worked on. Oh yeah, let me just tell you about the RS tucked in the corner again, getting some work. Stunning green. I'm keeping my voice down because there are some customers around now. I don't want to be too much of a nuisance. I mean, it's just, I mean, hopefully you're now starting to understand how ridiculous this place is. I could spend hours here not only having their delicious coffee, but just drooling over everything. And what's amazing, in the half an hour that I've been here, cars have come and gone. It feels like quite a central place for petrol heads in Cape Town to come and just hang out and talk and chat and look at amazing cars. Anyway, there's more. I haven't finished yet. Back here in basically the corner of the showroom, we have some more storage with some pretty insane cars just tucked away. Citroen DS20, the guys here fully restored this thing. Apparently it was a complete waster when they first got it, and now it is fully fixed up, interior totally redone, looks stunning. Testarossa just, you know, as I say, casually chilling back here. We've got some more American cars. We've got 458, got Continental, got a stunning Alpena Bmw here. This again is getting a full restoration by the guys here. The seats are out at the moment, as you can see. This is going to get back to sort of concourse spec. So cool. These kind of German cars, the Mercs and the BMWs of this era, some of my favourite. But yeah, I mean, it's just hilarious how all these cars are just hanging around in the corners of this place. Now here we've got some more cars that have been kept in storage, that behind these glass doors we just opened, and this is the thing that caught my eye straight away. This is a Sauber Mercedes C9, the infamous Le Mans racer, but it's not actually a real car. It's a car that a man built in his shed. He had a 1:32 scale model car, and he slaved away and just enlarged it and made this. How absolutely insane is that? There are a few articles about this car online. I'll put them below in the description below so you can go and check them out. But it just looks so cool out there, and it was a complete passion project, and even Peter Sauber wrote a letter to the guy saying he was so impressed by the project. So yeah, very, very cool to see that. A few other bits hanging around as well. Let me come down and squeeze through all the cars. We've got a V12 Vantage S there. What else have we seen? There's a Speciale Aperta tucked away down there. But yeah, incredible things lurking in all corners of this place. And just to prove my point that cars are coming and going constantly at this place, a Dino turns up, and not just any Dino, chairs and flares spec, GTS, absolutely stunning. This thing is in immaculate condition, and I just can't get over all the stuff that is going on in here, let alone cars like this. But I'm still obsessed with that Alpha back there. Amazing. I'm so glad I came down to check this place out. If you are ever in Cape Town and you even have the smallest inkling of admiration for cars, you have to come here. Also for their coffee. But very, very cool. I think now it's time for me to jump back in the DB11 and continue my automotive exploration of Cape Town. After about an hour and a half's worth of sitting in traffic, I have now come outside of Cape Town to, I guess, the countryside, or at least a lot of the wine-making regions, to a completely picturesque location, because this is the Franschhoek Motor Museum. Now, when I did a few posts saying that I was coming to Cape Town, the majority of people told me that the one thing I had to do was go to the Franschhoek Motor Museum. So, I'm finally here. Let's head inside and see what it's all about. Now, whilst this is called a motor museum, unbelievably, this is all a private collection. There is a family, I suppose, or maybe a group of people that own these cars privately and decide to put them on display. Long-term viewers of this channel will know that I'm not massively into the pre-war cars. My love of cars is kind of 60s or 50s and 60s onwards, so a lot of this stuff is going over my head, but I'm led to believe that it's some incredibly rare older cars. Things like this old Chevrolet from 1939. I have no idea how some of this stuff ended up in South Africa, but it is incredibly cool to see. I love anything with wood. Any exposed wood on kind of a car or a truck I think is very cool. But I'm going to come down this way. It's a very cool, like, it looks like a Chevrolet Ute So it's a Brute, a Chevy Brute. If you're an Australian viewer, you'll know your ute. Super powerful pickup truck type things. See, that's an animal. We got a Corvette Z06. What else we got here? Some more, like a lot of Chevys. This is like the Chevy room. So obviously they're big fans of Chevrolets. I love this Camaro here. That's pretty nice. Got a Marini bike at the end. Lots to see. I know I just said that I wasn't that into pre-war cars, but this I'm obsessed with. Jaguar SS 100 1938. The 100 denoted 100 miles an hour, or theoretically 100 miles an hour. Can you imagine going that fast in this? I mean, it looks amazing. I think it would be slightly terrifying. I'm not sure it even has brakes. I mean, it will, but very, very cool. This is like a Jag section here. There's an XK, like a bog standard XK at the end. I say bog standard, it's obviously beautiful. But some very nice other bits. We've got MGs as well. Every room just has like this array of insanely cool cars. Now, not to sound ungrateful, but this is my room, this is my jam. As amazing as the 3 other huge rooms have been, this is where I'm suddenly drooling like a hungry dog at the things on display. Let me spin the camera around and walk you through basically every single car in this room. So as you're about to see, there are a huge range of not only road cars, but incredible race cars in here as well. I don't know absolutely everything, but I have identified the majority of them. So let's just crack off with the Porsche 956 from 1984. This car was raced by Jackie Ickx and Jochen Mass, and it won at Silverstone and Mosport in that year. I think any race car with a Rothmans livery is winning. So cool to see here. It's just so bloody dramatic in looks. Anyway, then Carrera GT, doesn't need much explanation, but great to see one here. Then we've got a 928 S Porsche. Now, I've never really been a massive fan of 928s or 944s, just this shape, but this one does look quite nice and clean. It's got sort of black plastic bits that make it look a little bit more dramatic, and yeah, anyway, cool to see. Moving on, Porsche 930 Turbo from 1979. Again, silver with these kind of black plastic look, which was super iconic. You can see how flared that rear wheel arch was, and I really, really like the 930 Turbo. I think it's stupidly cool, and values are going crazy skywards. Tucked away in the corner, we got a 912 Coupe. Now, I like to think of this as the Cayman of its day. It wasn't, but it was there to bridge the gap between the 356 and the 911. So I guess it was kind of like, you know, I guess their mid-level sports car, maybe. Anyway, very nice to see one in red. We got a DeLorean here, wings up, Back to the Future poster for those people visiting the museum that don't realise that this was not the car from Back to the Future, but obviously a infamous DeLorean. Then tucked away in the corner, I love this little kid's D-Type. So cool, tucked away in there. I think that looks wicked. Then we get onto some of the pretty heavyweight racing cars. First up, we've got a Maserati 6CM from 1937. This is one of Maserati's most successful pre-war designs. Very, very cool to see. I love look how narrow that thing is. So narrow. Must have been amazing to drive. We've then got a Peugeot 1953 Hillclimb car. I don't know much about this. There's information, by the way, in front of every single car, so those of you that might want to come down here, you can read a lot more and learn a lot more than I'm telling you. But anyway, there's a Peugeot Hillclimb special. Then we moved on to Jody Scheckter car. So if you don't know Jody Scheckter, one of South Africa's most iconic and famous racing drivers, this was a Tyrrell Formula 1 car that he raced in 1974. I'm a massive F1 nut. Very cool to get this close to such iconic Formula 1 cars like this. So moving on again, we now have an Ian Scheckter car. So this was a 1978 March, all ripped apart. You can see like the seating position and like how easy it was to die in one of these things. It starts to make sense as to why there were so many casualties and things back in the day. So that's very cool to see. This, I had no idea what this is. It's a Chevron 1972 Formula 2 car. Ian Scheckter again won the Formula 2 championship in this. So 2 Ian Scheckter cars here. Moving on to this side of the room, stuff for me starts to get more heart pounding. Moretti 1955, tiny little car. Look how tiny the windscreen is. I mean, it's literally the size of my hand. Then we come on to a Maserati 1956 150S. Again, stunning in its design. We have to remember how successful Maserati were at racing back in the 50s. I mean, it's a shame that they've kind of become what they've become these days in terms of road cars. I'm sure they will get back to their road car glory, but also hopefully their racing glory at some point. Then this is one of my favourite cars in this entire room, a yellow Jaguar D-Type from 1955. I love the D-Type. I love the F-Type Project 7, which was harking back to the D-Type. I've never seen one in yellow. Absolutely perfect in my mind. Interestingly, right next to it, Aston Martin Db3S, again 1955, and if you look, you can kind of see the similarities to them and where people thought the direction for, you know, aerodynamics and design was going, because they're relatively similar, but different enough to have competitive advantages over each other. Look at some of the damage as well. These cars have been driven in their time. What I love about this is it is red with a white dot. So those of you that remember my F-Type, here it is, but it's an Aston Martin Db3S. Stunning. Tucked away in this corner, we've got a 300 SL 1956. What I love about this is it's got a suitcase in the back, matching interior suitcase. So you can still do that with a lot of sort of premium cars these days, get a suitcase pack, and so this one had it back in 1956. A couple of bikes that I'm afraid I don't know much information about, and there's not any placards telling me what they are, so apologies bike fans. I want to move on to this. I had no idea what this was as I walked up. I thought it was a 275 Nart, but it's not. This is a 1960 250 GT Nembo Spider, and I had to read this plaque because even though I'm a complete Ferrari nerd, I'd never seen anything like this before. So it says right here, inspired by specialist body designer Tom Mead, it was made by Italian coachworks Nembo, that's Giorgio Neri and Luciano Bonaccini. It was built on a 250 GT long wheelbase, and it's got these plexiglass headlight covers, which is why I thought it was a 275. They just remind me a bit of a 275. Only 3 of these in the world, and this was the first one ever made, so very cool to see such a rare and unique Ferrari in here. Then we move on to some slightly more recognisable rare and unique Ferraris. 288 GTO. I do not think you see enough of these around the world, so awesome to have that here. We've got a beautiful 1987 F40, very cool again. F50, which again you don't see enough of. One of my favourite features about the F50 is the fact that the mirror is slightly curved, because obviously behind the heads you have those kind of bubbles, so they've curved the mirror to allow for that, which I just think is amazing. And then my hero, the Enzo. Obviously no LaFerrari here, but this was my LaFerrari of my day growing up, and I just love seeing them in any situation. Harnesses you may recognise, same as the 360. Winning. Oh my god, it's a bit bright. I feel like a mole that's come out of a mole hole. I can hardly see, but anyway, yes. What an incredible place this is. It's definitely got something for everybody, whether you're into your slightly more modern supercars, whether you're into your racing cars, whether you're into really historic stuff. It's awesome. I hope I've been able to show you everything that's going on and not just focus on the modern stuff, which interests me. But yeah, definitely worth coming down here also because the location is just stunning. Apparently, there's a private racetrack here as well somewhere, which God knows what happens over there. I can imagine even more amazing cars. But that probably brings an end to this vlog, which has been a sort of an exploration of Cape Town's, I guess, car collections and supercar collections and dealerships, etc. It's been amazing. Another side of Cape Town that I underestimated. I definitely need to come back here and explore some more. What I'm going to do is now take the DB11 into some of these mountain roads and try and film a bit of a review on that, because I've been loving it today and I want to talk about it a bit more in a separate video. So if you've enjoyed this one, give it a thumbs up and make sure to subscribe for plenty more videos to come.